Happy Tuesday, everybody. Oh, you look scrumptious. I could eat every one of you, and I just might. All right. The ladies of The View have now expressed regret over their treatment of Kate Middleton, saying they, quote, fell down a rabbit hole, which raises a key question. How the hell did they fit? The LA and Miami homes of rapper Sean Combs have been raided by Homeland Security in connection with a sex trafficking investigation. In other news, Combs is changing his name from Diddy to Didn't. Jill Biden spent Sunday morning at a SoulCycle spin class. To make her feel at home, some of the cyclists fell over. A new study claims that your facial features may have been influenced by what your mother ate during pregnancy. If that's true, then Nancy Pelosi's mom ate a lot of Tupperware. A new poll finds that 73% of voters are fine with the term illegal immigrant. The remaining 27% of voters were illegal immigrants. McDonald's just announced plans to sell Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah, in response, you'll never guess who took the day off to celebrate. It's never gonna end.
Never over.
All right, let's do a monologue. And so Florida forbids social media for kids. Governor Ron DeSantis just signed a bill making it illegal for kids under 14 to join a social media platform while requiring parental permission for 14 and 15-year-olds. Any existing social media account created by a child under 14 must be deleted by the company. Failure to do so could expose the company to expensive fines and lawsuits. Weird, the measure has received bipartisan support. Odd. The last thing to receive bipartisan support was the let's throw Jesse Waters into a vat of boiling oil bill. I co-sponsored that one. But it's refreshing that even some Democrats want to protect kids, especially in Florida, where Dems would rather pleasure an alligator than admit DeSantis is right.
What the hell?
I'm glad we put the little black thing over his eyes. Don't want any lawsuits from the reptile community.
Is that Earl?
Yeah, it's, I never forget a jawline.
Yeah.
Of course, Florida is expecting a challenge that it violates the First Amendment, which ironically will come from the same people who want adults banned for asking a woman at Planet Fitness to throw on a jockstrap. But they're ready for it. Here's Florida House Speaker Paul Renner.
You will not find a line in this bill that addresses good speech or bad speech, because that would violate the First Amendment. We've not addressed that at all. What we have addressed is the addictive features that are at the heart of why children stay on these platforms for hours and hours on end.
Yeah, he's talking about notification alerts and autoplay videos, which make social media as addictive as my legendary back rubs. The secret? No hands. But the content of the speech isn't at issue. There's no viewpoint discrimination. The idea is that social media itself is harmful to kids, not just any particular message being sent on it. Keep in mind, DeSantis already vetoed another version of this bill that would have banned social media for anyone under the age of 16. Why does this matter? Good question. Well, young brains aren't like adult brains. Like Joe Biden's dinner, they're mushy and unformed. These brains are not fully developed until the mid to late 20s, or in my case, the mid to late never. Those growing brains can't handle the constant bombardment of bullying, peer pressure, gender indoctrination, climate change panic, and racial hysteria. They'll have plenty of time for that, when they go to college. Now, does this law limit a child's freedom? Yes. Does our society limit a child's freedom already? Yes. You got to be 16 to drive a car, 18 to vote. Hell, you got to be 21 just to legally drink a beer. We don't let kids smoke cigarettes either, no matter how sexy it makes them look. But all those things are arguably less damaging than putting a child on TikTok or putting TikTok into a child's brains. Do you remember how social media took off? It was something called Facebook. Why was it called Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg created it at Harvard to judge the looks of other classmates. which is funny given that Zuckerberg looks like something you'd find stuck to a glue trap. So it began as something that would make people feel like crap, then we shouldn't be surprised how many people feel like crap now because of it. But Facebook exploded, mainly because people wanted to check out who got fat after high school. Along the way, it became much more a way to share information and news faster than we could have ever imagined. And without thinking much, the adults let the kids have access without pondering the long-term consequences it could have on those kids. And they were able to share and soak up bad content faster than a urinal cake at a Port Authority restroom. We're talking stuff that risks their lives with idiotic stunts, insane delusional rants that tell them there are 72 genders, creeps that tell them anorexia is cool, obesity is a plus, and body mutilation is a rebellion against patriarchy. Social media is the largest medical experiment in history, where we allow strangers to pump in a powerful toxic drug right into kids' vulnerable brains. It's not a fair fight for the parents or their brats. It's tough enough being a kid as it is, especially if they're slow and can't outrun my van. But social media makes it even tougher. And the developers are well aware that these apps are distracting and destructive. In China, where TikTok was created, content's filtered so kids under 14 only see videos about patriotism, science, and education, and with a limit of 40 minutes per day. After that, get back to work, kiddos. Those Nikes won't stitch themselves. But today you have predators pretending to be activists bent on bending your kid into something unrecognizable. So stopping it isn't a crazy idea, right? If we want to let kids be kids, then it's time for adults to act like adults. Instead of shrugging, maybe protect them. Instead of burying our faces in our phones, we should take a look on what's on theirs. So kudos to DeSantis for slamming on the brakes. After all, 14-year-olds in Florida, they shouldn't be on TikTok. They should be on Cops, where they belong. Streaming right now on Fox Nation. Let's welcome tonight's guest. She's so sharp, she comes in a sheath. Host of the Hoop Chat, Emily Austin. You've probably seen him sleeping at a highway rest stop, comedian Jim Florentine. She can ghost you by turning sideways. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor, Cat Tim. And his idea of fast food is eating a cheetah. New York Times bestselling author, comedian, and former NWA World Champion. Emily, as the closest person to 14, I believe, if you were that age now, how would you feel about this?
So as a child who's addicted to social media, I'm all for this, but I can also attest that this is not actually going to prevent anyone from signing up, because I'm pretty sure I'm totally incriminating myself. When I signed up for Instagram, I think I was in the 5th grade and it was totally not allowed, but there was no verification. So if someone's actually going to reinsure for whatever means, like once they sign up, that they can attest that they are in fact of age, then this is great. But I knew that we were doomed when I was talking to some middle schoolers in Starbucks, and I was like, get off your phone, go play with roly-polies. And they were like, what's that? I was like, oh my God, we're doomed. This is so bad.
What are you doing talking to middle schoolers at Starbucks? What are middle schoolers doing at
You're
Starbucks?
stepping in his turf,
I
man.
incriminated myself twice.
He's working his
How
side
do
of
you
the street.
do it?
Take notes.
This is why I always have a clipboard. I always tell the parents, I'm doing a survey. I can get it anywhere with a clipboard. Anywhere, Jim, including your house. I say I'm with the electric company, and I'm here to turn you on. Where am I? Jim, as somebody who probably has no social media, I've never seen you on social media. Maybe AOL Instant Message. Do you have any insight on this topic?
Yeah, well, I have a 13-year-old son, so I think it's great.
Yeah.
I support it because he's on Instagram, and what happens is his friends are out doing something. He sees them, they're posted. He's like, oh, how come I'm not there?
Yeah.
You know, so he gets that, like, deal with that later in life. You know, he's already worrying that they don't like him. I'm like, first of all, you're not there because you don't have a car. Okay,
Yeah.
that's one reason. And so that's the same thing. Like, I don't like, when I'm out, I tell people, don't take a picture we're at some event, because you're going to get someone in the comments, how come you didn't invite me? Because no one likes you.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't invite you.
But you know what? If he is off social media, then you got to interact with him.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We follow each other. Yeah,
you're okay.
No, but he has it set up where it's private, so only he gets.
No, I mean in person.
Yeah.
Do you talk to him face to face?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Yeah.
Made it, Greg.
I know, but you never know. Maybe he has some kind
you
of
usually talk
restraining
to him
order.
as me.
It's Jim Florentine we're talking about.
I don't think this thing goes far enough. I think they should ban any adult that posts a video of themselves doing a Facebook challenge. Get rid of that.
Or any men who post shirtless selfies. Let's ban that too.
I better take that one down.
Yeah, please.
I'm out.
Kat, you look like a 14-year-old.
14-year-old boy, yeah.
Boy, a 14-year-old boy. A 14-year-old male skateboarder.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. How would you have handled this? Do you think this is good? Do you think it's too late? That's the question. Is it too late?
Okay, so this doesn't work.
No.
So first of all, children should not be on social media. No one should be, based on a lot of the things I see online. Your grandfather shouldn't be on there either.
That's true.
But like Emily pointed out, that there'd be some kind of verification. That would be even worse, because you compare it to beer or cigarettes, right? You have to show your ID at a bar or show your ID to buy cigarettes. I don't want everyone to have to give their ID to big tech to have an Instagram account or a Facebook account, which would be the only way that you really could verify this. Mm-hmm. So my idea would be, if you are really very concerned about your child being on social media, do not allow them to be on social media. Like, have parents do it.
That's too hard.
I know that it's so big now that the government, people from both sides, they want the government to solve their problems, and the only difference is based on what problems those are. But I have enough faith in the parents of Florida that they can handle this themselves.
Have you seen?
Yeah, and if you live in Florida, why would you even go on the internet? There's so much stuff there.
Yeah, that's true.
As long as you just walk outside.
Florida was the original internet.
Yeah.
Right? You could see naked people. Florida Man was the original meme.
Yeah.
Tyrus, Kat makes an interesting point about the opposite end of the spectrum. It's the elderly who are really falling prey to social media scams. We both watched The Beekeeper. We know the truth.
But here's the thing. You made the joke in your monologue about you can't catch them in your van, right? Well, no one looks for the van anymore.
That's true.
No one's worried about a van on the corner because we lock up. We don't let them go outside by themselves. You never have to worry about seeing a bunch of kids playing two-hand touch football on the streets anymore, or baseball or stickball, because you're made sure that the guy in the van doesn't have an opportunity. Well, he doesn't do that anymore. He doesn't need to get a van. Mm-hmm. He just needs to be a 13-year-old girl on social media. He can talk to whoever he wants to. Kat is right. Parents need to be parents, which means you have to put down.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what, when they say kids need to do this, I watch my daughter make an Apple account in 30 seconds. Her name is my birth date. Congratulations, welcome to Apple. Give me that.
Yeah.
So, and it was verified, okay? Catching my teenage son hopping on Pornhub. Are you 18? Yup. Okay, so that's the problem. I know you don't like the ID thing, but that's the IDs is the only way to stop the pedophiles. It's not so much mom and dad need to take personal responsibility, but you want to stop sex trafficking, you want to stop fentanyl pushing, you think these dealers and these pedophiles and these kidnappers, they pretend to be other things, and our kids fall for it because mom and dad are also falling for it. It's never ending. And here's the thing, Facebook is fine with it. Anyone who had, for those of us, we all have been on TV where we have a million fake accounts. Okay, and there's one account in particular where I'm getting letters all the time from elderly ladies, my base, who are sending money to help me escape from my wife. And here's the cold part. They're emailing my social media to complain about fake me, and she runs social media. So they're talking about running off with me to her, and if she could help them get a hold of me so we can run off. And then I got to hear about fake me.
All right, we got to move on. I just want everybody to take 10 seconds and remember what it was like before the internet, like what you were doing. It is incredible if you think about it. What were you doing before this? And can you ever go back? I don't think we can. All right, that was a fun exercise. Now, everybody remove their clothes.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.